I want to welcome you guys and to our promotional ceremony today. I want to let the mayor speak because this was his idea. This was one of the first things he talked to me about was the fact that the police were really good about doing promotional ceremonies, making it the big deal that it is, and I, of course, completely bought into that idea. So what I've got to say kind of leads right into the badge pinning, so if you guys welcome the mayor of Springfield.
Thank you very much, and thank you for being here. It's important to recognize those for two reasons. One is I think we get caught up in the day-to-day activities, and I think previously I'm not sure how it was handled as far as the pinnings, but what we need to do is reflect back and what got you to this point, so especially for the ones being promoted. It's important, as I do for myself as an elected official, you always reflect back to the day you started and how you progress from that mark, and this is a watershed moment for them to do that, but also for the rank and file that's not being promoted. It's really a time for them to reflect too, because you're setting the standard that hopefully each and every firefighter wants to achieve in their life, because it's all about trying to self-critique, improve your situation, but most importantly, improve how we serve the public. And no other person has done it better than Abraham Lincoln. And we're fortunate, we're blessed to be in the home of Lincoln, Springfield, Illinois. And I say this at the police department ceremonies, is he set that legacy of bringing people together for the common good to serve the public. It's government of the people, by the people, for the people. And it doesn't matter what level of government or service you're in. If everybody would remember that from the federal level all the way down to the local level, we'd have an entirely different world that we live in today. So that's our challenge in Springfield, because we do things our own way. That's Lincoln set that mark, and that's what I tried to promote as much as possible. We should look to Lincoln and how he served the public, how he brought people together, and live in that fashion. So really, hats off to the fire department. Just like the police department and other departments, we have to do more with less, and we had the unfortunate situation with the budget, and that came through in that situation. But despite budget cuts, they received the Class 1 rating, which was well-deserved, and I think it's only 3% in the country have that rating. So it's due to the men and women of the fire department got us to this point, and hopefully we'll be able to retain that. But it's about working together to serve the public, and if we don't lose sight of that, we'll have a better community and we'll all grow together. So I really congratulate Chief Rainey, right? We used to call him Chief Riney for the longest time, but through this process we found out it's actually Rainey. So we appreciate his leadership and the leadership within the fire department, and also those that will be pinned today to set a new standard for those. But really, when you think about it as you move forward, what's your legacy going to be, just like with Lincoln, and challenge yourself how we can improve services each and every day that we serve the public. So thank you for being here. We appreciate the families and their friends for providing the support that they need to provide for the rest of us. So thank you and congratulations for those being promoted.
So one of the drawbacks when your family decides to spell your name wrong since about 1900 whatever is that nobody gets it right, and I don't worry about that at all. I do actually have something prepared. Unlike the mayor, I can speak from the cuff. I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. So today we gather to acknowledge 6 people that are being promoted and taking on a new role and responsibility in the fire department. Thank you, Mayor, for attending. Thanks, Bonnie Drew, for attending. I really appreciate that. Thanks to the family, friends, and the co-workers, too. Our families make this sacrifice with us. We ignore them for months while we're reading IFSTA manuals just to score that one extra point on a test that can make all of the difference between those who get promoted and those who do not get promoted. So we appreciate the sacrifice that the family makes while we're going through this process. So today we're promoting driver, engineers, and captains. And the rank of driver engineer, much as the name indicates, is the person who drives the apparatus, who manages, maintains, and operates all the firefighting equipment on that apparatus, such as the pumps, ladders, things like that. The driver engineer has knowledge and technical understanding of equipment, which is kind of why the engineer part of that is attached. Being promoted to the position of driver engineer is the first step in being responsible for others under your command. You will fill the role of company officer in those times where your captain is off. Captain ranks above driver engineer and just below the level of battalion chief. A captain is in charge of a specific station or a specific fire company. The captain is in charge of maintaining the station, ensuring that the crew is ready to respond, checking out the apparatus, and overseeing its readiness. The crew looks to the captain for leadership and guidance in both extreme life-threatening emergencies and during those times where we're sitting around doing a tabletop discussion on what went right and what went wrong. The captain, most importantly, sets the overall attitude for the crew in relationship to the department and the general public. The captain's most important duty is providing that appropriate leadership to their crew and sending their crew home safe to their family after their shift. You will also fill the role of battalion chief from time to time, which is very important also. So how did we get here? For hundreds of years, the fire service is built on a rich history, starting in 1st or 2nd century Rome with the very first recorded fire brigade. In the 1800s, Napoleon was credited with the first professional fire department, and where he ordered a group of French army to provide fire protection for Paris. In the U.S., the first fire department was started in Philadelphia in 1736 by Benjamin Franklin. It's officially called the Union Fire Company. Finally, the first modern full-time fire department was formed in 1853 in Cincinnati, Ohio. This organization featured the first full-time professional firefighters in one organization. So it's generally accepted that the modern day rank structure that we use today came from the Civil War era. These insignias, the bugles, the badges, these insignias and their meanings are universal to firefighters, but generally the public doesn't really know their significance. The rank insignia is made up of a traditional fire service icon, the bugle, and the bugle has significant representation in the fire service. In the early days, orders were given from the fire ground to the troops by officers through the use of a large brass device that resembles a megaphone today. These very ornate brass horns were commonly called bugles or speaking trumpets. It is a common theme that a person with a bugle hanging from his neck or shoulder was the person in charge. So officers came to be identified with these bugles, with these objects. So a small pin in the shape of those bugles became the insignia rank insignia for officers that we still use today. The more bugles on the collar, the higher the rank. An expression we still use today, the tradition that goes back for centuries, and we still do it today. I think that's kind of cool. No promotion can be complete without the pinning of those bugles. This is significant to the promotional process, since the bugle is the symbol of authority. The rank of driver engineer is represented by a single bugle on a insignia pin fire department badge. The rank of captain is represented by 2 vertical bugles on an insignia pin or fire department badge. So these unique symbols to the fire service indicate duty, pride, and tradition, which are important principles that we strive to pass along to each generation of firefighter that comes after us. It's adorned on the collar and the badge of all officers. As you are pinned with this symbol in your new positions, and please accept that responsibility and take a moment to consider the rich history and tradition that goes along with that distinct responsibility of each rank. So now, if you are willing to accept all of the responsibilities and the things that I just mentioned, I'm going to ask that the newly promoted driver engineers please step forward. So I don't really know what order. I'm not sure. Why don't you guys come back here so the cameras can get you? This will be better. John Munhink is going to be pinned by Alana Sorrentino. Did I get that right? There you go. Come on up. hard part of this is getting everything off the back and not stabbing him in the chest. It's very important. There you go. Pads, I'll get out of the way so the pictures will look better. Now this goes on his collar and it kind of goes out like he's young. Yeah, a little bit, turn it down to the bottom. There you go. Perfect. So as a side note, John's grandma's here today, and I do not see that you brought cake. Tell her be disappointed. So those are just the backs to his pins, but this is his promotional paperwork. Congratulations, John.
Thank you.
So another John with a different spelling is going to be pinned. John Gordon is going to be pinned by Penny and his kids. See, this is efficiency here, so you guys can. Who wants the badge? Badge, there you go. Jake Maxon and I worked together and I hurt him one day, so I still feel a little bit bad about that. Not that I hurt him, but that I didn't realize how bad he was hurt, and I might have snickered a little bit, so I still owe him. He's going to be pinned by his wife Penny and his son Colt. Nope. Brandy and Colt, sorry. I just read that.
Penny want to come back up?
Yeah. Sorry, Brandy. There you go. Congratulations.
Thank you, John.
All right, so now I'm going to ask the three newly promoted captains to step forward. guess I'll start with first. Barb is going to come up and pin Mark Vanderwerf. That's the bags. I need those for later. He'll still lose them. Congratulations, Mark. Joe Snodgrass is going to be pinned by Aaron, Josh, and Sandy. If you guys. See how we go on that? Like easy on. Who wants the collar? You want a collar? There you go. There you go. You got a collar. There you go. Go ahead. Rick Ryman is going to be pinned by Chelsea and Keegan. It's all right. Who's doing it? That's probably best. There you go. Get out of the way. Get that Cardinals shirt in there. The mayor loves the Cardinals. Oh, wait. I got that. So yeah, once again, just join me in congratulating all 6 of them. This concludes our ceremony, but you guys are welcome to stay for pictures. And yeah, why don't we get all 6 of you up for a group picture first? Going with the mayor? Mayor wants to come on in for a picture. It's too wide. Sir. We can look it up. Right there, we'll look it up. Look out. Look at buddy.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
One more of this one? All right. Catching up to me, too.